Hi everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Hannah. I'm an IFBB pro bodybuilder and these are my quads. Today I am doing a updated day in the life for you guys because the last one, and I think the only day in the life I've ever done for you guys here, I was not in prep, meaning I was not in preparation for a bodybuilding show, and currently I am in preparation for a show late in November. So the first thing I do when I wake up typically is take my weight, so I can get that information into my coach. And then I start in on check-ins, which just basically means in bodybuilding lingo that you take pictures posing in front of a blank background preferably, and you send it to your coach if you're working with one. And here I am doing bodybuilding poses, but I'm going to be doing the figure category in my pro debut in November. So those of you that don't really follow bodybuilding or the lingo, figure is a smaller category than women's bodybuilding. And if you haven't followed my journey, I did get my pro card in women's bodybuilding, but I have chosen to move down to a smaller class. Like I said, I am doing bodybuilding poses here, but I'm doing that because honestly, they're just way more fun than the figure poses. And then I grab a zero Gatorade, which is kind of like my morning routine. I do run really low on salt, and yes, that is through labs. So I tend to salt a lot of things. And of course, I grab my iced coffee. And I'm escorted down the stairs always by a cat. I know my garage is messy, so just don't judge me. Then it's time to hit the treadmill. And I do take a walk later in the evening outside. I know a lot of you guys always ask me why I don't walk outside. Well, I do in the evenings if it's not too hot. I live in Texas. It is hot as balls all the time. And if anyone knows who Robert and Marcus are in the comments, let me know. You will get 1,000 cool points from me. I usually try to work on my phone while I'm doing cardio, but my Wi-Fi is always trash, so. Cardio is done, so of course I am escorted back up the stairs by a cat. And here's my kitchen. And then it's time for breakfast. Those are all my supplements. I know there's a lot of them. Breakfast is usually always the same. Right now, during this part of prep, it is 35 grams of oatmeal and then 75 grams of berries. I also do a tablespoon of flaxseed and chia seeds for digestion. And then egg whites. A trick that I like to save dishes is the egg white carton empty is exactly 66 grams. So my breakfast calls for 200 grams of egg whites. So I just minus 266 grams on the scale, and it saves me a dish. And that's what it looks like. I squish it all up and I do add it in the same bowl and sweeten it, and that's what it looks like. It doesn't look great, and my sister's boyfriend says it looks like dog food, but you know what? It's delicious to me. And then it's time for my daily supplements. And this might seem a little excessive to you guys, but this is just what I do. Fish oil is always a must. And none of this is sponsored, you guys, so keep that in mind. None of these supplements are sponsored. I'm just telling you what I do. And then, of course, I take a daily multivitamin. I've been taking this one from Designs for Health for years. I always end up going back to it. Citrus bergamot, that is great for cardiovascular health. And then I take calcium by Nature Made. Panthenine is also great for cholesterol. Then MK7, you want to take this one with vitamin D, which my calcium does have. I know it says sports research, but I don't take it for bodybuilding purposes. I actually take it for skin purposes. Obviously, I'm not telling you guys to take any of these. This is just what I take. You should definitely do your own research before adding in new supplements. And then, of course, I have to flex in the mirror before I go to the gym. Once you become a pro, it's actually like a law that every mirror you see, you have to flex in. That's why you see guys flexing in the reflections of cars. It's actually because it's a rule that we have in bodybuilding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I hope you guys know I'm being sarcastic. Then it's time to make my intra workout. And you guys will see a lot of the supplements I use aren't just for bodybuilding. It's also for my skin health. That's one of my weird special interests is I love dermatology. And this is another supplement that I actually use for skin health as opposed to bodybuilding. And that's it. Shake it up. And the reason why I am not wanting to be sponsored by supplement companies is because I don't want the integrity of my message to change, you guys. And then there's my quads again because it is leg day today. And that's me up on the wall. I love the owner for doing that. First exercise is calves, and here I'm warming up. My quads were still kind of sore from our last leg day, so I had to grab my knee sleeves and put them under the pad. If you guys do this exercise and it hurts the top of your legs, use your knee pads underneath it. It really helps. And I know some of you are probably wondering if she's going to compete again. Does that mean she's going to take steroids again? And I've already talked about this on another video, but I did start a cycle of NPP at 30 milligrams per week about 3 weeks ago at the time of filming this. And for those of you that are not very familiar with bodybuilding, because I know some of you on my channel are not super into bodybuilding, but you just watch my channel, that might sound like a lot. Any steroid for a woman probably sounds like a lot, but I encourage you to go look up who is winning currently on the IFBB stages of women's physique, women's bodybuilding, and even figure at this point. And for those of you who are versed in bodybuilding and who follow it or maybe even do it, you know that 30 milligrams of NPP is nothing, especially compared to what is winning currently on the pro stages. I actually feel like such an amateur not escalating past 30 milligrams a week, but this is where I'm at. And I don't want to run into the same issues that I did when I got my pro card. So this is the choice that I'm making, to run 30 milligrams of NPP for 6 weeks at a time and then take 4 weeks off and then run another 6 weeks and so on, while also getting regular blood work done. And in fact, it's almost time for me to get my blood work done. And I'll probably show you guys in my next day in the life. It'll be really interesting to see what my physique does and how it responds to 30 milligrams of NPP per week compared to, and I sound like a broken record, but if you don't follow my channel or if you haven't followed my channel, I've talked about the dosages of steroids I've taken in the past. I used to take upwards of 300 milligrams, sometimes more, in preparation for a show. And I mean steroids, 300 milligrams of total anabolic steroids, and I would take multiple different things. I would take injectables, orals, and so this prep is going to be very, very different compared to previous preps that I have done. And I will show you guys the difference between me being off of steroids for a full year versus now after being back on NPP for about 3 weeks. There is a drastic difference, and I would like you guys to see that. Is my new favorite leg press that they have at my gym. It is called a Watson leg press, and I'm showing you guys what I did last time because I'm going to try to beat that today. This is what I'm trying to beat today. So last week I did 6 plates for 7 reps on each side. That is the goal for me to beat today. I know this isn't the best angle, but I wanted you guys to see the weight so you could believe me. I ended up getting 6.5 plates for 7, so I did beat my goal today. Jake did not do this exercise today because his old man knees hurt, so make sure to make fun of him in the comments. I keep trying to show you guys what music I'm listening to, and honestly, I don't remember which song this was, but I tried to show you. I guess I thought it was cool or something. This was my back off set, meaning I just dropped the weight a little bit, and in this case, I just took off the 25 and continued to do another set. Next exercise, I did leg extensions, and I know I have a tendency to have an RBF when I'm focused. Does anybody use that term anymore? Let me know if you guys know what that means, but when I'm super focused, I notice that I have a resting bitch face, and it's something I'm not aware of, but I notice it sometimes when I film. I look really serious, but most of the time it's just because I'm in my head and I'm trying to focus. And I have an entire ritual when I'm training or when I know I'm about to do a hard set where I really have to focus and give it everything I have and really be mentally in it. Tends to look on the outside like I'm either disinterested, but it really just means I'm really focused. Then it's hamstring curls. I love this machine. And of course, I had to objectify Jake a little bit. By the way, if you guys notice, I'm not like wearing shoes during cardio or training. It's because I don't like wearing shoes. I hate wearing shoes. I hate wearing shoes. I do cardio in my socks and I train in my socks if I can. My gym doesn't care if we train in socks, which is amazing, but I hate shoes. I hate wearing shoes when I train and I hate wearing shoes when I do cardio. I know that's weird. Weirdly enough, the only shoes I really enjoy wearing are heels, which shouldn't make sense because those are like supposed to be the most uncomfortable shoe you can wear, right? Am I strange here, you guys? Then, like I said, I don't make the rules, but we have to pose in the mirror every time we see one as bodybuilders. This is the last exercise of the day. We do have two separate leg days. One of them is more quad dominant and one of them is more hamstring dominant. The one I did today was more quad dominant. Our hamstring workout tends to be a little more intense because we're doing deadlifts. And this was the total workout today. Did forget to write down calves. I always forget to write down calves. I actually don't think I've ever logged calves. I know that's like a character flaw. And here's post-workout meal. Again, I'm always escorted by a cat. It's 5 ounces of chicken, 100 grams of sweet potato and vegetables. And then it's like a nightly ritual. My cat Benjamin insists that I hold him like a baby. And then it is a filming day, so here I am getting ready and doing my makeup. That is all I can tell you about that, but it's for my job. Maybe one day I will give you guys the deets, but today this is all I'm gonna show you. And I don't know why I always give you guys the thumbs up, it feels right, you know? Third meal of the day is 150 grams of sweet potato and then 3 ounces of salmon and 4 ounces of shrimp. This is Madam. She's my absolute princess and she gets a little bit of everything that I eat. Then it's time for that evening walk I told you guys about. See, I walk outside sometimes when it's not too hot and there's not too many bugs. By the way, if you want to add me on Pokemon Go, drop your trainer link. And then last meal of the day is 4 ounces of shredded chicken, 150 grams of rice, and some vegetables. And the rest of my evening, I'm basically cat furniture. So yeah, that is my day in the life. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want me to keep doing day in the life videos like this as I get closer and closer to competing, what I'm doing differently now versus when I have competed in the past, I would love to do that. Let me know in the comments and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.